everybody, it's John here. It's VEDA Day 14, and today I wanted to talk about an internet phenomenon that is, I think, unfortunate and I think interesting, just from the standpoint of, and I'll go into it, and is a term that isn't used a whole lot. You may not have heard of it, but it's called slut shaming, and it's kind of what it is if someone on a social networking site, Tumblr, Daily Booth, even YouTube, does a sexually provocative photo or video. Not necessarily has to be nude, although sometimes it is. And in the social network, you'll get a certain percentage, obviously, that will be positive, but then there'll be a significant percentage that will be negative in terms of shaming the other person. It's almost always a woman or a girl, someone who's underage sometimes, showing off. They're trying to get attention, but the outpouring of vitriol and hatred toward that person, saying that you're a slut or put the boobs away, what do you do, a real negative. I mean, these people a lot of times don't even know this person. They're kind of drive-by kind of comments, but they're always along the lines of, you shouldn't be doing this, you're too young, or you're a slut, or you use your boobs to get attention, or whatever. And there is no real reciprocal when it comes to men doing this, as far as I know, that I've seen. In general, it's just ignored, or the comments are positive if that's the attention that the person's trying to get, but it usually happens to women, and I feel like this is a evolutionary response, but it's misapplied, because on the internet, that when we see I don't know, slutty behavior, lack of a better term, or behavior, the open sexuality, looking for sexual attention, in the real world is far different than online, because online there's obviously a huge buffer space. There's anonymity, there's distance between you and your followers, where in real life, when you see someone being sexually provocative and trying to lure attention, that's a whole different thing, and the differences of consequence are significant. But I think when we see these things online, or when women see these things online, other women doing these things, there's kind of this idea of, like, what are you doing? You need to have better standards for choosing a mate, essentially. Don't just sleep with everybody. Don't try to lure just everybody, and don't be so overt about it. And I think that that's what's kicking in these type of reactions, that we're evolved to have a sense of in the moment, with moment-to-moment person. That's why porn turns this on. It's a TV. The person's not there, but yet we have a similar type reaction, same type of thing. It's unconscious, and that's just the type of moral offense that sometimes people have, and they don't realize that. And that slut shaming really is. It's not the same thing, even though the reaction is for the real world. It's not an appropriate reaction for the internet, and it causes a lot of grief, and I don't think people realize it. Not that I'm really standing up and defending that people should get naked on the internet. People can do whatever they want, frankly. I don't even care if they're underage. It doesn't, it's not really, it doesn't affect me, so I don't really care. But it is, I think people don't even think about it, and they just react. And I'm just hoping that people kind of, maybe if they see this, realize that your response is inappropriate, and you shouldn't be doing it, frankly, in my opinion. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.